Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Thursday, July 30th, 2015, around 4:49 in the afternoon, Billerica, Massachusetts. It's clouding up. We're going to get some severe thunder showers, rain showers, downpours, hail, wind, thunder, lightning, and maybe a chance of an isolated tornado. But this will cool everything off to get the heat and humidity out of here and back to drier weather. But it's still going to be hot, but no humid for a while. Some news to report. The Toronto Blue Jays made another splash today. They acquired David Price from the Detroit Tigers. The Toronto Blue Jays are serious about making the playoffs because they haven't made the playoffs in 22 years. Also, the St. Louis Cardinals, we got a contract extension from Fox Sports Midwest to continue to air games on that network. The deal kicks in 2018, and during the 15 years of this contract, the St. Louis Cardinals will get $1 billion. Wow! And also, Antenna TV is going to be showing reruns of classic sitcoms My Mother the Car and Family Ties this fall. They've been promoting Family Ties on the network the past few days and weeks. And prayers to actress Valerie Harper, who's famous for being on playing Rhoda in the classic 1970 sitcom. She was rushed to the hospital last night. She was found unconscious, and it does not look good for Valerie Harper. So prayers to her family. Valerie Harper, the past few years, has been in a little bit of a declining health with a brain tumor and stuff. But she's been remarkable, appearing on Dancing with the Stars and doing some acting gigs here and there. But her family says it doesn't look good. But prayers for Valerie Harper, please. I hope she makes it through. That's about it on the news. My second video blog subject of the day is a continuation of Billerica Memorial High School memories. I was a student at Billerica Memorial High School from 1991 through 1995. That's why I have the Indian Chief on here, because the Billerica High School team's nickname was the Indians. And today's memory of Billerica Memorial High School is about former assistant principal at Billerica Memorial High School, David mclellan. David mclellan worked for Billerica Memorial High School for over 30 years, from the late 1960s to 1999. At first, he was a business teacher, and then I think from the mid-80s to his retirement in 1999, he was the assistant principal at bmhs, and he was the assistant principal for 5 classes: 1984, 1988, 1992, 1995, and 1999. I first met David mclellan, Mr. David mclellan, in the lunch cafeteria when I was a freshman at high school, and I was real impressed with him. He was a big, tall guy and stuff. He was nicknamed the Chief and stuff, and I developed a good relationship with him and stuff like that. I would always quiz him about, like, knowing the Billerica Memorial High School codes of conduct and stuff like that, because I studied it a lot, and I quizzed a lot with Dave mclellan about that, Mr. David mclellan. And Mr. David mclellan was the most disciplined high school principal, assistant principal in BMHS. He disciplined a lot of students, because once they broke the rules, he had to enforce them and stuff like that. He gave out more office detentions and more suspensions than any other assistant principal in Billerica Memorial High School history, because he followed the rule book. Plus, he was on the disciplinary committee of Billerica Memorial High School for many years and stuff like that. And David mclellan was, kind of a humorous guy and stuff like that, and I enjoyed his conversations and stuff like this. I didn't get into too much trouble at BMHS when I was a student there. A couple of times here or there, get office detention, only once, but he had to enforce the rules and stuff like that, because you cannot talk yourself out of a detention or suspension there, because most of the time, if you do you will not be very successful and stuff like that. And plus, that would be setting precedents and stuff. And Mr. David McClellan, a couple of times to talk to me about some issues and stuff that I shouldn't really be doing and stuff. But he was good. He was like kind of a little bit of a great mentor and stuff like that. And he's one amazing guy. Mr. David McClellan, like, is now actually, during his time at BMHS for several years, he actually taught night courses at Middlesex Community College for business, and which was pretty good and stuff. And Mr. David McClellan's from Westford, Massachusetts. He was married, had a couple of kids. One of his kids went to Harvard for school in the mid-90s and stuff like that. He told me about that. He says it was going to cost him over $35,000. That's probably cheap back then, but now I think going to Harvard is probably $100,000 and stuff like that. And also Mr. David McClellan went to all the high school semi-formals and junior and senior proms for the class of 1995, because he was the assistant principal for the class of 1995 and stuff, which was good and stuff, and also class day and stuff. And Mr. David McClellan was a very, very swell, great guy. Probably one of my favorite people at BMHS of all time. Mr. David McClellan, besides Dr. Thomas Sharkey and a few others and stuff. One time, like in 1992, when I was turned Sweet 16, he knew about the surprise party that the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Billerica was going to throw for me there. That's real good and stuff like that. And now Mr. David McClellan is retired. I hear he splits his time between his home in Westford, Massachusetts, and Phoenix, Arizona area and stuff like that. So that's what I last heard of him. And that's about it on the Chief. He was nicknamed the Chief, Mr. David McClellan. This is a great Billerica Memorial High School memory, and I don't know what my next memory of Billerica Memorial High School will be, but it will be a good one, probably in a couple of weeks. Be back for the third and final video blog of the night, which will be about my continuation series of Ex-Player Hall of Famer. Tonight's subject is Billy Wagner, former closer of relief pitcher, a future Baseball Hall of Famer. And coming Saturday, the return of the personality profiles. I'm going to start with Terry Funk, WWE Hall of Famer, and famous for saying, "You egg-sucking dog, you Dusty Rhodes." And plus, fantasy booking scenarios coming next week. The first one will be about the four horsemen in 1996. We're going to do a little bit of a Rouge four horsemen angle, which could have been played out in WCW if the loose cannon Brian Pillman stayed with them. It's going to be real interesting. And Keep Calm, and I'm a Julie Brennan guy, Molly Rosenblunt, a Fox 35 Rocks, and the words of Big Daddy Cool Diesel, WWE Hall of Famer. Big Daddy's got that gold. See you later.